It's time to put an end to the lies of all the crypto naysayers out there. Simply put, Bitcoin has not crashed, and I'm going to show you exactly why. How's it going, guys, and welcome into the Bitcoin chart. If you'd like to buy Bitcoin or want some free Bitcoin, there are a couple of links down in the description of today's video. And today we are going to be dispelling a myth that I'm sure many of you have heard, and that is the idea that Bitcoin has crashed, whereas in fact that could not be further from the truth. And this is something we've been hearing on numerous occasions. This line that you're seeing right here is our long-term uptrend. As you can see, the current value of Bitcoin still remains above it, and this line has basically been in place since March 2020, and you can see that was basically the first touch point which occurred. We then saw another touch of this line throughout September and October of 2020, and we have now recently seen another touch of this point right now in May 2020. And in fact, we did dip slightly below it. On the 12th of May, we got to a low of $25,338 US per Bitcoin. Right now, we though are sitting at $30,000 and $385. So realistically, we are still sitting in a bull run. We are still sitting in a long-term uptrend. Until this line actually fails, then we are not, I suppose, in a bearish sort of market. When we see the failure, that is when someone can finally go, okay, you know what? We are in a bear market. Whilst, yes, we have been decreasing in value since the 10th of November. And as you can see here, you can put basically a nice little line in place to show that. Overall, we are not in that bear cycle yet, that bear market and that downtrend. In fact, something a lot more interesting is happening. This line I've just put in place here is our top end resistance. And you can see it started from that peak over here in November of 2021. It was touched on multiple occasions here in March and April of 2022. And right now we are within the next few months going to get to the pointy end of things, pending of course our long-term uptrend does manage to hold up. And at this stage, it looks like we have seen a bounce and it is going to hold up. So very, very exciting stuff right there. What is the latest point at which we could see this sort of formation, I suppose, maintain itself? And that is realistically probably about the 18th of July. So mid-July, we're either going to see a break up, and given we're in a long-term uptrend, that is the more likely scenario, or of course we will see a breakdown. But for all intents and purposes, right now we are still in a bull market. Whilst yes, we certainly did go very far away from that overall line, as you can see, particularly in the past few years, long term we are still sitting pretty at this point in time, pending we see a beautiful bounce, which it looks like is actually occurring. Volume wise, it's interesting. You see a lot of people panicked when this line was broken, and that's because they thought the long term uptrend was failing, but buyers came in and maintained this line as well. You can see the volume has been going crackers compared to normal. Even zooming out, the last time we even came close to these sort of volumes, I suppose, was probably in January, but not really that much. I suppose the last sort of high volume area was over here in May of 2021, a year ago, when we were getting towards the end of our little downtrend there. So all in all, we are still looking good. Let's take a look at a few more indicators as well. First and foremost, I want to look at the RSI. And the RSI, what that is showing us is, in fact, we got to that point where we were dropping slightly below our uptrend line, but we closed back above it. We dropped into the oversold range. And in fact, we got to a low on the 9th of May, and we went in below it at this point of 24.46. On the day we dropped all the way below the key long-term uptrend, we had an RSI of 25.27. This indicates we were oversold. And that means buyers now need to come in and start buying up this coin. And you can see that's exactly what has been occurring. And the reason I suppose I'm finding this significantly more positive is due to the fact that yes, the price action has been, I'd suggest, relatively horizontal, but the RSI is climbing. And what that indicates is there's more buyers than sellers actually in the market right now. An increasing RSI indicates there is a larger volume of buyers, even if the price doesn't reflect that as well. Let's have a quick look at the MACD. What's that showing us at this moment? Bringing that one up here, the MACD is actually showing us a bullish cross. On the 20th of May, the 12-day EMA crossed above the 26-day EMA. And that wasn't even, when we saw this sort of nice little reversal here when the RSI was low. This has just happened, and the cross has been very, very convincing. It's not a shallow cross like we've seen previously over here. Instead, it is a proper cross, and we're seeing 4 green days right now on the MACD. So what that indicates to me is we're uptrending, and we're going to continue uptrending for, I suppose, the next couple of weeks. And that means we maintain our long-term uptrend. So based on that, Bitcoin is not going to crash in the next 2 weeks, and it still has not crashed. So for anyone who is saying Bitcoin is crashing, Bitcoin has crashed, it's simply not true. Until we see a clear break of this long-term uptrending line, then simply Bitcoin is still in its bull run. So for everyone out there who is trying to make a decision on whether they should get into crypto, get out of crypto, or whatever it may be, this is what you need to be focusing on. This long-term uptrending line. And the reason for that is the price of Bitcoin dictates the rest of the market. Basically, everything else is affected by the ups and the downs of Bitcoin. And given we're sitting on an uptrending line at the moment, and it looks like we're bouncing off it and moving upwards, things, in the grand scheme of things, are actually looking quite positive. That wraps up today's analysis, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments section below. Of course, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure you do leave a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of this sort of content, hit subscribe and turn on those bell notifications. I'll leave it there for today, guys. I hope you have an awesome day. I'll see you next time. Cheers.